For beam warm-up, everyone will do a row of coupe walks, putting their foot next to their ankle. And then on the way back, they will do passe walks. So it's basically the same position, but their foot is now next to their knee, and their leg should be high enough that they can set a plate on it without spilling. After that, they'll do straight jumps forward or forward walks in releve. So the level 2s could try the straight jumps, everybody else do the walks. And then the same thing backwards, so either the releve walks backwards or straight jumps backwards. At station 1, beginners are going to do levers to T from a mountain climber landing in a lock. We're looking for them to get horizontal, so they need to be parallel with the beam, basically making like a capital letter T. Level 1s are going to do levers all the way to the beam, so their hands go on the beam like a butterfly, meaning their thumbs are together and the rest of their fingers are wrapped around the outside of the beam. Level 2s have the option to do a lever hop, which is basically the same thing as a lever, but you just barely hop that other foot off the beam, keeping your legs in a split. Or the level 2s can do a handstand all the way up to vertical and land back again in that lock position. At station 2, on the other end of that same high beam as station 1, beginners are going to do a mount through a tuck position to jump off the beam to a stick. So for that mount, they're going to push up to front support, then swing their leg over to a straddle, place their feet behind them, then jump up to that tuck and stand up, and then they just jump off, land in bent legs in a stick position with their arms in front. Level 1s are going to do that same start to the mount, but instead of bringing their feet behind them first, they'll just swing right up to the tuck, and then they'll do a side handstand dismount. Make sure they hold onto the beam as they fall down so that when they land, their hands are still on the beam. The side handstand starts in a mountain climber position before teeing in and then turning like a cartwheel into a side handstand and falling to the floor. Level 2s at this station are going to do a swing to straddle and then swing their feet back to push up, jump them into tuck, and then stand up with their arms in crown. And then from their mountain climber side handstand twist. If they don't have a twist yet, they can just do a normal side handstand. And you can also spot the side handstand twist when you have time. Station 3 is on the other high beam, and beginners are going to be doing walks on the beam through coupe, passe, and releve. So they're working on their confidence and knowing the different positions that are important on beam. Level 1s are going to do kicks forward, sidewards, and backwards while walking forward down the beam. Make sure they're keeping their arms nice and tight during these kicks. Then our level 2s are going to do brush hops and arabesque holds on the beam. The arabesque holds are just lifting the back leg up, and then the brush hops are like a straight-legged skip basically. And then the more advanced level 2s can do leaps on the high beam. At station 4, beginners are going to do arabesque holds and pivot turns on the medium beam. And then they will do side handstands falling to a push-up position on the floor beam. If there's not a class on bars, feel free to leave the floor beam how it is right now in the video, but if there is a class on bars, please make sure you move it to a safe location. Level 1s are going to do straight jumps on the medium beam and pivot turns as well, and then lever hops or handstands on the floor beam. So depending on where they're at on their handstands, they can either practice handstands or just practice lever hops on that floor beam. Level 2s are going to do split jumps, and then they can either do pivot turns or snap half turns on the medium beam. So again, that depends on how advanced they are. The more advanced ones can do the snap half turn. Make sure it starts and finishes in a passe before stepping forward. And then on the floor, the level 2s can either do handstands or cartwheels. And again, the more advanced ones, so if they already have a handstand on the high beam, then they can practice the cartwheel on the floor beam. If they don't have their handstand on the high beam yet, then they're going to want to practice that handstand on there.